E-commerce operators and founders. Did you know that over 70% of online shoppers abandon their carts before completing a purchase? But here's the kicker. What if I told you there's a way to turn these lost opportunities into significant revenue for your business? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up powerful abandoned cart and checkout flows using Klaviyo. These strategies will help you recover sales and boost your revenue dramatically. And trust me, the difference between an abandoned cart and abandoned checkout is critical. So stick around to discover how to optimize both of these for maximum conversions. To fully leverage the power of Klaviyo's abandoned cart and abandoned checkout flows, it's critical to understand the difference between them. This knowledge will not only help you in setting up each flow correctly, but also in targeting your customers more effectively. So let's start with the basics. Abandoned cart. So this flow is triggered when a customer adds items to their cart but leaves before initiating to the checkout process. It's critical to re-engage customers who might be just browsing or comparing options. So this is important because by targeting customers at this stage, you remind them of the product they're interested in before they even decide to purchase. And basically, you're kind of nudging them back into your store. Imagine this, right? A shopper is browsing on your store and adds a few items to her cart, but then they get distracted. So with an abandoned cart email, it reminds them of what they left behind, and then we could also offer incentives like a discount to encourage them to return. The abandoned checkout. This flow kicks in when a customer starts the checkout process but doesn't complete the purchase. This is where, they've shown clear intent to buy, making a super critical touch point, and this is one of your, if not most important flows, since the customers are further down the buying funnel and they're more likely to convert if they're given the right nudge. Example of this is just think of a shopper who's entered the shipping information but hesitates at the payment step. An abandoned checkout email serves as a timely reminder to complete the purchase. We can offer reassurance about shipping times, and also we can include return policies just so we can tie down their objections. And now that you understand the difference between these two types of flows, the next step is to set them up on Klaviyo. But before we even jump into the technical details, there's a critical element we need to consider, which is personalization. Personalization in abandoned cart flows. So this is where you want to include customer's name and the specific types of item they left behind. And then we also want to offer any relevant recommendations based on their browsing history. And the reason we even want to personalize is because personalized emails perform significantly better because they feel more relevant to the customer. So imagine just getting an email of the exact thing you abandoned in the store of the brand. So an example of this type of email would be you're linking them to their specific checkout or cart depending on which flow you're doing. And then we also want to include the specific types of items they left behind. And then another point we can say is we want to talk about their pain points and education. This allows the customer to know that we understand their pain points. And then we want to offer some social proof as well, like reviews, so the customers will trust us more. Think about just receiving an email that not only addresses you by your name, but also highlights the exact products you were interested in. Maybe like a message, still think about these items. Here's a little incentive to complete your purchase. And then we can also include objections in your abandonment flows. Besides just, those cart details, we want to offer support options and emphasize customer service. And we can also offer reassurance about secure payment, highlighting an easy return policy, maybe even adding a 24/7 customer support line. This objection handling and reassurance is super powerful for people that are just hesitating to buy. So these personalized messages will reassure them about the secure transaction, and we can offer live support that can be kind of like the final push that they need to complete their purchase. With personalization covered, we can actually now move on to the actual setup process in Klaviyo. And trust me, this part is where all the magic happens, and it's actually a little bit easier than you think it is. Before we set up our abandoned checkout and cart flow, we first have to understand what kind of content we even need in these flows. So for email 1, we pretty much just want a reminder of the product as left in the checkout, and then we also want to include some social proof and objection handles. Email 2 is we want a reminder of the product as left in cart or checkout again, and then in this email, we want to offer an incentive this time. Email 3 will be a plain text reminder from the founder talking about the objection and the product that they left in cart. This pretty much humanized the brand. Email 4 is just another reminder of the product that's left in the cart, adding any objection handles and also adding urgency for that incentive. And then for the 5th email, we want a higher tier discount plus also a 24-hour expiring email reminder. So now that we got that out the way, let's set this up in Klaviyo. So let's set up an abandoned cart, and then we can do an abandoned checkout flow in Klaviyo. And now I'm just going to go step by step on actually how to do this. You pretty much want to go to your flow section and then create click flow. Or you want to use one of Klaviyo's templates that they have. And no, we're not going to stick with what they have, but we're just going to edit on top of what they have. So first, let's create this flow. And then I usually like to do 2 hours because I see those perform better. And then for this, we want to add 22 hours because we want the second email to be in a 24-hour time frame. Since people are usually on their phone around the same time, so we want to target them when they're on their phone. So the email that they receive from us will be on top of their inbox. And now, abandoned cart 1. So this email is just the reminder email. So now we want to see if our triggers are correct. So usually it's checkout started 0 times since starting this flow and place order 0 times since starting this flow. So we want to remove the add to cart 0 times since starting this flow because this will basically kick out anyone that has added something to their cart 2 times. So first delete this, and then we want to add another condition. Has not been in flow in the last time in 7 days. And the reason we want this filter is because we don't want people to abuse our add to cart trigger. So we basically just don't want people to add to cart and then just wait until their discount comes. Again, this is really up to the brand. It's usually between 7 to 30 days. And now let's edit the email. So for the email, usually we're going to have a logo here. And then for the copy, for the header, you pretty much just want to remind them that they have items into their cart. You're 1 step away. They're 1 step away, ...
Usually the header data is always like that. Boom, you're 1 step away. I think that's too big. You're 1 step away.
So you can just tune this copy into your brand, maybe add in some brand elements here. And for the event name, this is good. Ooh, event URL, that is the product that they left behind. Event name, that's fine. And since we want this to go directly to their cart, this is actually not the correct link. So what we want to do is just have a website like aroundspy.com, like website.cart. So this will go, or like gymshark.com. Gymshark. Okay. So for the button, the way Klaviyo has it set up, this is not right. This is what you would do for a browse abandonment flow. So for our abandoned cart, we want it to direct them to their cart. So what we have to do is actually use your brand's website, and then all of them should have a cart page. So gymshark.com/cart. So if someone actually clicks on this button, it should direct them to here. So when someone clicks on website.com/cart, it'll direct them to their cart, where if they have something in their bag, then they can continue on with their purchase. And then if you do have any images that you put in here, make sure it directs them to the same URL. And then for this, we usually want to and then for the dynamic product block that you get, you want to change it to this right here. So it actually shows the price, and then when you actually preview this, then people would actually see the cart, see the price, and when they click on this, they actually go onto the cart. And then from here, you just want to add in your preview text and then just repeat with the content here, right? Reminder of product left in checkout would be in email 1. Email 2 would be a reminder of product left in cart plus an incentive. And then plain text for the third email, reminder of product left in checkout for the fourth email. And then a higher tier discount with a 24-hour expiration date. And then once you finish the rest of the emails, this is what you should have for your add to cart flow. Email 1, reminder. Email 2, reminder plus your incentive. Email 3, plain text from the founder. Email 4, reminder of product left in checkout plus objection handles and urgency. And then email 5 will be your higher tier discount. And then there's also going to be a 24-hour expiration limit. And then once you finish your abandoned cart flow, you can pretty much just clone it and create your abandoned checkout flow. And then something you want to change here is changing the trigger to checkout started. So clone this. And then once you clone it, this is what you should have. Your trigger should be checkouts started. And then what you want to do is actually remove this profile trigger. And then for the email links that you want to link, and then what you want to do is edit the buttons and also the dynamic product block. So just click edit, and what you want to make sure is your URL directs them to their abandoned checkout link. So that's where they're able to see the product that they abandoned, and then they can also finish their checkout from that page. So this is the link you want. event.extra.checkout_URL. And for the CTA, you can probably do like finish your checkout, something like that as an example. And then for the dynamic checkout, you can pretty much just get it from Klaviyo. And then you also want to change up the copy so it directs them to like the checkout process instead of the cart. And then once you have, the links, the dynamic product, you can pretty much edit these, add any social proof, add any, things like that. Obviously, this is an example. Probably have to put more effort into, creating these images, creating the copy, creating the header, but this is just more of a technical example on how to set up your abandoned cart and abandoned checkout flows. And then once you finish your email 1, make sure to add a preview text as well. And then you can just do that for the rest of the emails, change up the subject lines. The checkout abandonment and add to cart abandonment usually has the same messaging except for obviously the add to cart. So if the checkout started, verbiage is about checkout, then for the add to cart flow, you want to use add to cart abandonment verbiages. So after setting up your flows, the final piece of the puzzle is testing and optimizing. You want to ensure these emails are performing at their best and capturing as many of these lost sales as possible. So what you can do is experiment with different subject lines, email content, and sending time to see what resonates most with your audience. And you can also try to send emails at different times or tweaking your subject lines to find out what gets the most highest open rates. Small changes can actually lead to really big results. And then you also want to monitor Klaviyo's analytics to track open rates, click-through rates, and conversion rates. And then just adjust your strategy based on what your data tells you. So just keep an eye on your metrics and continuously refine your approach. For instance, if you're noticing higher engagement with emails sent within an hour, you probably want to focus on optimizing that timing. By now you should have a solid understanding of how to set up and optimize your abandoned cart and checkout flows in Klaviyo, but there's one more thing you need to know to ensure your strategy is foolproof. And what the fuck is that? But before you go, there's something critical I didn't cover in this video. Understanding how to set up these flows is just the beginning. The real magic happens is when you combine them together. So if you want to learn how to optimize all your flows for your e-commerce brand, click the video on top, and that's where I dive into all the flows you need to know for your email marketing for e-commerce brands. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and if you find this video helpful, make sure to check out the next video, and don't forget to subscribe for more e-commerce and email marketing tips.